Good morning, Patriots. How are you today? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Everything seems to be wonderful around here in central Missouri. We had tornado sirens going off yesterday. It was fantastic. No tornadoes, though, not in our area, so we do appreciate that. Oh, little red lights popping up on my computer screen saying bad things are happening. I don't know. I'll check them out later. Don't really care. Windows. Don't open your windows. It lets bugs in. Anyways, I hope as you're jumping on, say hi where you're watching from. I do appreciate everybody jumping on. I do appreciate everybody watching. I do appreciate everybody sharing. Please share. They are definitely squashing my videos. In fact, Facebook just came out and said that they're going to start really cracking down on anybody that talks about, in a negative light, the V word, and it's going to be terrible. And I don't know, is my voice lagging? I don't know what's the deal here. Seems like everything's going slow. Does it seem like my voice is lagging this morning? I'm not really sure what I could do about it. My internet is blazing, so I don't know what the deal is. Oh, they're just messing with me. Probably the powers that be, the interwebs. It's kind of annoying. But we're going to fix all that. We got some hardware coming. This thing will be blazing fast. So, okay. So everybody's saying sound good. Sound good. Okay. That works for me. Alrighty. Alrighty. Hope you're having a great and wonderful day. Look, check this out. If you're following me on the YouTube, there's my YouTube link, and it says 61 subscribers because I took that a few months ago, actually. Then there's about 2,500 subscribers on there, and that's all because of you guys, and I appreciate that. My Rumble link right there, and it says 17K. That's almost 3,000 now. That's awesome. And this is me on the Telegram, whatever it is. And there are, I don't know, 300 or 400. And I only started this like a week and a half ago. And you guys are really jumping on there. I really appreciate it. Now, this is kind of an interesting one because on this channel, I put all my thoughts as I'm doing research, wherever I find it, whether it's a news article, whether it's off Facebook, whether it's off Twitter, whether it's off a Telegraph and some of the channels I follow on there. I copied them over here. Now, a lot of that stuff doesn't make it into my show. It's basically show prep, like an ode to Rush Limbaugh's stack of stuff. It just doesn't make it because you only got, so much you can do in a time. And if I just start cramming stuff in there, I think it'd be less entertaining. And the purpose of you're not going to sit here and watch me unless you're mildly entertained. So that's part of this. But I do appreciate everybody jumping on and watching. I am on Parler, I am on Gab, but I'm not really there. I have accounts, but I've kind of focused on just a few because, well, it take all day and I don't have all day. So anyways, just want to remind everybody that right now there are but two parties. There are traitors and there are patriots, which are you. Most everybody watching here is probably a patriot, I would say. But please share this content. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, ring the bell, and hit the little thumbs up button and share it from there. Share it with your friends. You know what I mean? And if you're watching this on Facebook, share. I know. It's crazy, right? Share it in Messenger. I don't care. But spread the word around. Get the word out there. People are waking up. People are actually waking up. People around me. I was talking to somebody the other day, and he was like, what happened at the Capitol on the 6th was crazy. It was crazy, he said. That a bunch of the police officers committed suicide? Well, how does that happen? I said, I don't know. Kind of crazy, isn't it? He goes, and the cops were like letting them in. I saw it on TV. I said, yeah. And Nancy Pelosi, and then I added to it. I said, did you know that Nancy Pelosi fired the two people that would be investigating it and then appointed her own people to, he goes, no way. I said, yeah, that's what happened. He goes, man, what's going on here? What is this all about? What's happening? And I looked at him and I said, you ever seen an iceberg? And he said, yeah. And I said, you know how 20% of the iceberg's above the water and 80% is below the water? He said, yeah. I said, well, you're dealing with the last night's half-inch of snow on top of the iceberg. That's the questions you're asking. Are you ready to go down this rabbit hole? Because I can send you some stuff that will blow your mind. So, so he's asking questions never even considered. where these questions could lead. And there's a lot of people doing that. A couple of movie stars or whatever. I think it was Sarah Silverman. She come out and has rejected the Democrat Party because she says they're nuts. They're crazy. They're not about what she's about anymore. She says, I'm nothing. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm nothing. But basically, that's her way of saying, what's going on? And she's not the only one. There's tons of people that are waking up. They're seeing what's happening and they're waking up. So I hope you have a nice, warm, or hot, however you like it, cup of coffee or whatever you drink in the morning. Someone the other day said she was drinking mimosas. Not for me, but that's okay. So anyways, so what's going on? Well, now that people are on here, I hate to break it to you, but I have a retraction to make. I have to humbly request that you forgive me. That's right, I made a mistake. I made a mistake in stating that Biden didn't win this election. I can prove it mathematically now. That's come to me in some new information, some new revelations that Joe Biden has actually won this election. There's a mathematical formula that can prove it. You're saying, Mike, you're crazy. No way. Trump won in a landslide and he stole it. I'm telling you, he didn't. I can prove it. And I apologize to you now because I have messed up all this time. I've been leading you astray. Now, how do you do it? How can I prove it? Here's how. All you have to do is take the F out of way. That's right. Take the F out of way, and it creates a mathematical formula that Joe Biden won this election. There you have it. Straight from me. Now you know. Make sure you say it out loud. Read it out loud. Oh, yes. And so while we're on a bunch of BS, let's move on to the Babylon Bee. The new M1 tank. According to the Babylon Bee, the new M1 tanks come equipped with baby-changing tables. That's right. Out of Lima, Ohio, as part of the ever-progressive military, a new feature has been added to the next line of M1 Abram tanks. Diaper-changing stations. The horrors of war have often been unfriendly to busy moms on the go. The Department of Defense spokesperson Clayton Brown says, our mission is to change things so that pregnant women and working moms feel welcome in our quagmires in the Middle East and have opportunities to blow up the locals with depleted uranium shells. In addition to changing tables, each new tank will be slightly larger in order to fit a private lounge for breastfeeding. So far, women in the military love the new components. It's really great as a mom to have these additional features, said Private Lorraine Hodges. Though she said the tank wasn't really a great place for small children since it was noisy and it was constantly under attack. The new tank should be deployed worldwide very soon, as many hotspots aren't doing very well since backup troops had to be routed to rebut Tucker Carlson on Twitter. There you have it. So now the M1 Abram tanks is going to have baby changing stations. And to those of you who are questioning my last comments, I want to remind you to read it out loud to yourself right now. Everybody read it out loud. If you take the F from way, it proves that Joe Biden won the election. Moving on. You don't get it, you don't get it. Bob Hope said if you have to explain it, let it go. So, there's a whole lot happening in the news today. This out, Fox News is reporting that Pisaki, I know it's Saki, I just love messing with it. I couldn't announce it at first. I had no idea how to say it at first, but it's Saki. Acknowledges big problem at the border and blames the Trump administration. The White House press secretary Jen Psaki on Monday referred to the influx of migrants on the southern border as a big problem and blamed the Trump administration for unworkable system following weeks of Biden administration refusing to call it a crisis. We recognize this is a big problem, Psaki said during a briefing with the reporters. The last administration left us with a dismantled, unworkable system, and like any other problem, we are going to do all we can to solve it. Build the effing wall. If you hadn't stood in his way every step of the way, cut his funding, Congress could have passed it in a minute, and he would have got. They're not crossing where the wall is. They're crossing where the wall ain't. Hello? Build the wall. Donald Trump wanted to build the wall. You can't blame this on Donald Trump. And not only that, he had a system set up where the Mexicans were on their side of the border, were rounding these people up and sending them back home. They weren't making it to the border. But now we've reversed all that. And it's all Trump's fault. We didn't have this problem under Trump, did we? No. Maybe it has something to do with you for the last 3 months going on and on and on and on and on about how you're going to give blanket amnesty to anybody that could get here. So what are they going to do? They're going to get here. Heck, if I was in South America living in squalor, I'd damn sure try to get here too. 3 hots on a cot, I'll tell you what. And Biden's going to give them amnesty and pay for everything and set them up and give them transportation. And of course, it's all about the children. It's all about the children. As this Biden administration has a handle on the unprecedented amount of migrants arriving in the U.S. southern border, Psaki insists we certainly do. We're going to have to circle back to that one. Monday's briefing, Psaki did not say exactly what the administration had done to dismantle the system at the border, but she did detail the steps the Biden administration was taking to address the influx. She noted that the CDC is rescinding COVID protocols to accommodate the number of migrants at full capacity. Say, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Hold on a second here. You mean to tell me that the President of the United States got on national television the other day and told us that if we all wore our masks and we all got the shot and we all social distanced and we all shut down our business and we all stayed inside and hid in the basement like him, that maybe, just maybe, just maybe, just might allow us to celebrate our independence on Independence Day with our close family in the backyard? Maybe he might allow us. But if you come to the border illegally, no problem. Come on in. We won't test you. We won't worry about you. Just come on in. We'll just cram you all in a bunch of facilities. Yes, facilities down at the border, not cages. They're not cages. They're not cages. Joe Biden's in charge, not cages. They're facilities. We'll cram you down there next to each other and spread that around. So they were saying somewhere in the neighborhood of 25% are COVID positive. But hey, it's just going to cause a bounce and we get to shut everything down again. So it's great. It's great. It's awesome. No problem. This will help expand the capacity and move children more quickly out of the CBP facilities. She also noted that the CDC is, I said all that. Further, it was previously announced that the Federal Emergency Management Agency has been activated to assist with the Health and Human Services and the Office of Refugee Resettlement. How many groups do we need? How many alphabet soups do we need to help with the important task of processing these migrant children and to get them out of U.S. Custom and Borders Protection? So this group of ABCs, the FEMAs, the HHS, the ORR, are going to help process these children to get them out of the protection of the Border Patrol. I don't know. Maybe they'll have some pizza parties and hot dog parties with them. What do you think? Perverts. They're now embedding at the president's ask of HHS and ORR staff with the CBP, which will, that sentence is just screwed up, which will allow the government to more quickly ID, vet, confirm sponsors, family members, and unaccompanied minors of the unaccompanied minors, and will lead to quicker placement, she said. Now, how is adding the alphabet soup of bureaucracies going to do this? This isn't going to speed anything up. It's going to complicate the matter. It's going to create more paperwork and more problems and a whole bunch of that's not my job. They're just going to mess this whole stupid thing up, which may be part of the plan. You know, it's just like they don't know what they're doing. I think this woman, I think she has the right idea. This is what she said.
Don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
She's kind of got it figured out, I guess. I guess that's one way of doing it. Not my way, but whatever works. And Megyn Kelly was talking about something here. There's my problem. I hope I'm still live with y'all. Something just froze up on me. Oh, no. Am I still there? Did I freeze up? Yeah. Let's see what's going on here. I can't play that video for y'all. Something's not working there. I'm going to get rid of that. Oh, well. We'll fix all that here pretty quick. I think. I want to remind you all to read it out loud. All you got to do is to prove that Joe Biden won the election is take the F from the way. And it mathematically proves that Joe Biden won the election. There you go. Just want to remind you of that. Why we're here. So, moving along, technical difficulties and all. All right. Now, this was breaking last night, and I found this to be enlightening. Media fabricated fake quotes from phone calls, which the Georgia Secretary of State's office. You know, they've done this before. You remember the first impeachment when Shifty Schiff got down there with his big eyes? He's got them big eyes like this. I can't even open my eyes as far as his eyes are. And he started reading his version of the phone call to the Russian president and just made the whole thing up because the president released the phone call just prior. You guys remember that? I remember it. Well, here they are again. They are lying again. Let's read the story. The corrupt corporate media used falsified quotes to push their narrative about former President Donald Trump's phone call concerning the 2020 election fraud with the Georgia Secretary of State in office in December. Now, when I get to this dude's name, bear with me. Some outlets have quietly scrubbed the mistakes from their coverage, while others have issued a correction. To use an anonymous source, the Washington Post first reported that Trump pressured the Georgia Secretary of State chief investigator, Frances Watson, to find the fraud, promising that she would soon be a national hero. Outlets like ABC News, PBS, USA Today, and CNN, and more picked up the Washington Post report, running articles with fraudulent quote emblazoned in their headline. Let's see here. Trump pressured Georgia election investigator to find the fraud in December phone call. A USA Today article reads, on December call, Trump urged Georgia election investigator to find the fraud. Source ABC News headline states, find the fraud. Details emerged. Another Trump call to Georgia officials, The Guardian reported. The Wall Street Journal also released the audio of a call last week. The Washington Post quietly issued a correction at the top of the article about the incident, noting that some of Trump's comments were misquoted by their anonymous source. There's two options here. One, they had no anonymous source. They made it up. Or two, they lied just like Shifty Schiff did down there on the House floor. There's more to the story, though, because there's a whole lot going on there. They were manipulating the upcoming election. That's right. At that time, there was going to be an election for 2 senators, which was going to flip the Senate. The media is complicit in this. It was a total fabrication. And not only that, we never got to the bottom of what happened in Georgia. There's been no court case. There's been no hearing. There's been no evidence presented. Nobody's ever even looked at the Fulton County, Georgia, where all the fraud happens. Nobody's ever looked at the ballots there. Nobody. I don't know what's going on here. So, what's going on? Why is that happening? What's happening here? Everything's been covered up. You know, because they have absolute proof that all you got to do is take the F from the way, and Joe Biden won fair and square. I'm just saying, if you missed the joke, watch the beginning. Hey, do me a favor, share this with your friends. They need to see it too. They don't know what's going on. So this was out on Twitter at Jack. I'm not going to try to say his last name. You can see it there. If you think it's supposed to be this, if you think this is just about Washington Post, this actually goes deeper. So listen up. The Georgia Secretary of State lied about the Trump call and deleted a copy was found. A deleted copy was found. Excuse me. The Georgia Secretary of State lied about the Trump call, but a deleted copy was found of the call. So they lied. Now here's the question. Fulton DA opened an investigation of Trump. Did they delete the evidence so they wouldn't get caught? Did they intentionally delete this phone call so that when they put all that out there and then they tried to investigate Trump just to get the press? You know, I've said this before. We got Fulton County, Georgia. We got right around, we got the big cities in Pennsylvania, the big cities in Detroit, Detroit itself, big cities in Michigan, big cities in Wisconsin, big cities in Arizona that are causing all this problem. These big Democratic mafia run cities is where all these problems happened. In the next election, I'm reaching out. If you guys know somebody in these states who's in charge of elections for their counties, I know who he is in ours, and I'm going to suggest it to him. Hold your count the next time around. Whatever the law says, if the law says you have to have it in by 10:30 at the night, or you have to have it in midnight 5 days from today, whatever the law says, count up your votes, lock up the box, put it there, and hold it. If you're in a Republican district, don't let it out. Don't tell anybody till the very last minute. Because what they're doing in these cities is they're waiting. And all the dutiful, follow the law, honest people turn in their vote count. And they can look out and say, oh, we need to have 125,000 votes to cover the spread. So they make it, and they win. They do it every time. That's the way they do it. Joe Biden said they've built the most efficient in American history voter fraud scheme, and he was right. This is what Donald Trump had to say. Now I'm going to make this bigger because I can't see it. Blind. This is what Donald Trump had to say yesterday. The Washington Post issued a correction as to the contents of the incorrectly reported phone call I had with respect to voter fraud in the great state of Georgia. While I appreciate the Washington Post correction, which immediately makes the Georgia witch hunt a non-story, the original story was a hoax. Right from the very beginning, I would further appreciate a strong investigation into Fulton County, Georgia, and Stacey Abrams' political machine, which I believe now this is the highlighted part, would totally change the course of the presidential election in Georgia. Fulton County has not been properly audited for vote or signature verification. They only looked at areas of the state where there most likely would be few problems. And even there, they found large numbers of mistakes. We are seeking to find a reversal, seeking to find and reveal the large-scale election fraud which took place in Georgia. Many residents agree, and their anger caused them not to turn out and vote for 2 Republican senators in the January election. The consent decree signed by Rosenpinger, or whatever his name is, and Stacey Abrams was not approved by the Georgia State Legislature, and therefore should be deemed invalid. The election result changed. Why the governor and Rosenpinger ever approved this consent decree is one of the great questions. We look forward to an answer. Let me tell you guys, this right here, and therefore should be deemed invalid. There is something big coming off of that right there very soon. You will notice the establishment media errors, omissions, mistakes, outright lies always slant one way, against me and against the Republicans. Meanwhile, stories that hurt the Democrat or undermine their narratives are buried, ignored, or delayed until they can do the least harm. For example, after the election is over, look no further than the negative coverage of the vaccine that preceded the election and the overdue celebration of the vaccine once the election had concluded. A strong democracy requires a fair and honest press. The latest media travesty underscores that legacy media outlets should be regarded as political entities, not journalistic enterprises. In any event, I thank the Washington Post for its correction. Let me tell you something, boys and girls. What Donald Trump said right there is huge. What Donald Trump said right there sets the precedent, sets the ability. All the executive orders he signed, everything that was put into place while he was still in so-called office. The fact that there is no remedy for this. Outright fraud and lies. It's gone all the way to the Supreme Court and there is no remedy. The Constitution has failed us because we've failed the Constitution. There's only one constitutional authority left. Only one way the American people can straighten this out at this point. And that's our military to step in. Our military to step in, do an investigation, prove out the facts, and make sure that the properly elected person is at the helm. That's the only choice we have at this point. Or we've lost our country. It's over. And get used to that flag behind me, by the way. And just remember, there is no effing way. If you don't know the joke, watch the beginning. You'll get it. I promise. And I'm going to leave you with one more little doohickey. Just want you to understand it. Sometimes it seems like things ain't really happening. And it seems like there's just on the surface of it, there's not much going on. A lot of work, a lot of words, a lot of talk, but not much going on. Seems like day after day we keep plugging away and nothing's happening. But then all of a sudden, everything changes. That's where we are, my friends. We're at the everything changes portion of this. We've been hammering away. We've been plugging away. Man, it's been a rough ride. For those of us that love the Constitution, love America, America first. For those of us who are red, white, and blue, who are mom and apple pie, For those of us who believe in the original founding of this country, who believe that we are destined by God for greatness, that this country is an exception to the rule of the world. That, as Ronald Reagan said, we are the shining city on a hill. And if something was to happen to us, there's nowhere to run to. People run to this country. That's why they're flocking the border right now for hope. There's hope here. They have no hope where they're at, so they're coming here. I don't blame them folks for coming here, not one bit. I would too. I think we need to build a wall, put a door there, check them all out before we let them in. But I don't blame them for coming here. There's hope here. But what happens if we extinguish the hope? And that's what we're doing every step of the way. We no longer have a Congress. We no longer have a court. I firmly believe right now that if Joe Biden signed an executive order banning the ownership, sales, participation, the whatever, of firearms, to the reversal of the Second Amendment completely, making us like Australia or England, or Canada. I firmly believe that would be sued. It would go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court would rule in favor of the state because they're compromised. These people do not believe in God. So therefore, because they don't believe in God, Nadler, pants guy, the guy that wears his pants up to about right here, Nadler, he stood up in Congress the other day and said that God has no jurisdiction in this Congress. He said that. Well, if you don't believe in God, then you don't believe in the Constitution, because when our founding fathers laid the foundation of the Constitution in the Declaration of Independence, they said we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Among these is a big, broad statement saying that your right to defend yourself, your right for speech, your right, your Fifth Amendment, your 10th Amendment, all of it. It didn't come from government. Government doesn't give it to you. The Constitution doesn't guarantee those rights. No, the government tells the state what they cannot do. I'm shaking the table again, getting excited. No. God gave you those rights. But these people don't believe in God. They believe they are God, or they believe in some other God that requires the sacrifice of children as the sacrament. And we're going to find that out, I think, shortly, and it's going to melt people's brains when they find out all this stuff. But they don't believe in God. They don't believe in the God of our fathers. They don't believe in him. So therefore, where did your First Amendment rights come from? Where did your Second Amendment rights come from? Where did your right to defend yourself come from? The banks are setting up social credit scores right now. The big major banks, the U.S. Bank and the Chase Bank and all them are working together right now to create a social credit score that's going to have three deals. It's going to have environmental, political, and I don't remember what the other one was. Somebody in their comments will tell me. That's right. And you won't get a loan if you don't agree politically. You won't get a loan if you don't have a high enough social credit score. They do this in China right now. You can't live, you can't even buy food if your credit score ain't high enough, your social credit score. You have to agree with the party, the Communist Party. And they're doing that here in the United States. Well, the government's not doing it. No. The government can't do that. No, we have rights. No, they're not doing it. They're working with the banks. The banks are doing it. The banks are going to do it. Then social media is going to do it. So I'm screwed. That's okay, because I've been buying silver. So stick it up your butt. I don't really care. I ain't buying silver for investment. I'm buying silver for the shift. The shift. The shift. Look that up. You'll figure that out. I don't believe God's going to tarry very much longer. God's not going to allow these people to continue to spit in his face. You read over and over again in the Bible that people come out and say there is no God, or people come out and they worship the same God that these people are worshiping in the same way. And God gets enough of it and he ends it. Sometimes it's pretty gruesome the way people end. But you can't spit in the face of God and get away with it very long. No, sir. It's coming. Just like that rock splitting. All of a sudden, everything is going to change. Are you ready? I'm ready. You guys have a great day. Please, please, please share my videos. Check me out on Rumble. Check me out on the YouTubes. And check me out on Telegraph. That's where I'm at most of the time. Those are my pages. You'll take a screenshot of that or whatever. Link yourself to it. And share this video. Share this video. Share this video. If you guys don't share this video, ain't nobody going to see it. It's all up to you. It's on you guys. And I do appreciate it when you do. And the reason is because Facebook's cracking down. And even if you share it, probably just 1 or 2 people on your page are going to see it. They're cracking down. They can't have this information out there. They can't have people like me and the other people. You know what I'm talking about. They can't have us on here. They can't. I mean, it doesn't make any sense business-wise. If I was Facebook and I had a guy who from time to time can generate 40,000 views, heck, I'd be promoting that. I'd be pushing it, even if I disagreed with him, so I could put commercials on it and make money. But see, then again, how did Facebook become a billion-dollar company overnight? How did Twitter become a billion-dollar company overnight when they still haven't made a profit? How'd that happen? I know I said I was getting off here, but this thought just jumped in my head. How did that happen? How did Hunter Biden get all that money from China? Just saying. How did that happen? Think about that one for a minute. How did these companies get so big so fast? Where did all that money come from? Who owns that stock? You guys have a great day. I'm going to jump off here. Enjoy, 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 because you know what? Spring is right around the corner. I'll catch y'all later.